This podcast covers LGBTQ plus subject matter. While the views expressed are in support of the LGBTQ plus community, we respect all opinions and beliefs.
Welcome to Lit Divas. Today, I have with me just plain Lilith. Say hello to everyone, Lilith.
Yes, I am just plain Lilith, not to be confused with just regular Lilith, because I am just plain like I'm one ingredient, and that is truthishness. And it's truthish because sometimes I add a little spicy Tabasco to, really get that point across. But it's still the truth because it's what needs to be said. It's just spicier.
Amen, sister. And I also have with me today Large Print Layla. Say hello, Large Print Layla.
Hello, hello, hello.
If I understand correctly, you're going to be reading a poem to us today?
Yes, this is Pride Month, so happy Pride to all of you out there.
Happy Pride.
And yes, I'm going to be reading a poem that is sort of celebrating that fact.
Wonderful. Go ahead when you're ready.
All right. So this poem is by J.O. I actually just Googled LGBT poetry, and this one came up, and I read it, and I identified with it, sort of saw myself with the words to it. So here we go. It says, it's by J.O., just the letter O. It says, thank God for boys, thank God for girls, thank God for humans in this world. Boys can wear pink, girls can wear blue. Your reaction is up to you. When someone's proud, let them be them. Let boys be girls, let girls be men. Don't hate because they're different, as that's still up to you. In fact, you should be proud of them, for they came out to you.
I like it. Now, Lilith, I understand that you are a published poet.
Yes, I read poetry for several years, and once people stopped throwing garbage at my journal person, they finally came up to me and were like, hey, do you want us to publish your book? And I'm like, sure.
Nice. So, as a published author, what do you think about Large Print Layla's poem?
Well, see, I think since we're in Arkansas, I will put it in a context that I think all of us Southerners can agree with. Let's say that, your grandma, she means well, but she told you she was going to make you a pecan pie, and she comes up and, it's a pecan pie, right? But it doesn't have that finesse that it used to. And I'm sure that I'm using that word 100% correctly, as I totally know what it means. And
I don't know about you two, but I have totally eaten pecan pie with finesse.
Yeah, I have too.
I'm finesse pie in my mouth.
Continue.
So anyway, yes. I think its intention is to say that, you can let's let boys be feminine, let's let, women be masculine, all that. I think if we were to nitpick and say that, maybe there's not an even number of pecans on my pie slice, some people might take it as saying that, trans men are women who are men and trans women are men who are women, when they are just men and women.
Exactly.
But I think that, it's not saying trans men are not men and trans women are not women. I think it's more just saying that we're taught that men have to behave in a conventionally masculine way, women have to behave in a conventionally feminine way, when all of that is a construct, and we should just be free to express ourselves however and celebrate that.
That's beautiful. So,
Yes.
Large Print Layla, when you read this poem, what about it stood out to you? You mentioned that you identified with it when you first read it. Can you explain why?
The lines, let boys be girls, let girls be men, sort of talk to me because I really love drag. And so when it says, let boys be girls, let girls be men, I like how that can be turned to women who do the drag king act, and for men who dress and perform as drag queens. And growing up in my house, there were really strict rules on how to behave, how to dress, how to look. We were all cookie cutters of one another. So I really like that it says that. And it says when someone's proud. And it is really hard sometimes for an LGBT person to find the pride, to find self-pride, and to be confident enough to where they can speak and act in that way. And it says don't hate because they're different. And I have a lot of family members who are very homophobic, so I really wish that they would they would have let me be different earlier, because I would have been further along. It wouldn't have taken me so long to wear the makeup, to act the way I do, to dress the way I do, all of that.
Yes. So it seems like what this poem is saying is let people be who they are, even if that's not who you thought they were when you first met them, or that's not who you thought they were when you first birthed them into the world. Let them be who they are. Let them express themselves in the way that they want to express themselves, in the way that they feel most comfortable being themselves and expressing themselves. Lilith, would you agree with that? I know that your perspective on it was slightly different from Caleb's, essentially the same, I think, in meaning, but you kind of tweaked your perspective a little bit from what Large Print Layla's was. Would you like to expound on that? Do you agree with my assessment of it?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with your assessment of it. I guess it's just, I guess I would say I'm coming from like you're saying, a different perspective than Caleb is necessarily, because I identify as a totally different gender than it was originally on my birth certificate. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, it's more to, be a girl or be a woman who is a woman.
Yes.
But I think though some of that initial repulsion was just, that insecurity comes within being in that particular group, rather than taking the poem maybe less literally than I perhaps should have.
So as a poet, you can probably agree with the fact that not all poetry is extremely literal.
Oh, no.
Yes. Go ahead, Large Print Layla.
I was going to say the very end said it I sort of got really sad at the end of this poem, because when it said, in fact, you should be proud of them for they came out to you. I don't know if you've watched the movie Love, Simon, but one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when the actor comes up to Jennifer Garner, who plays the mom, and she's just like, she just accepts him for him and his sexuality and all of that.
My oldest child came out as gender fluid and I didn't have any other response other than, yeah, that's wonderful, thank you for letting me know. I've received a lot of comments from their friends and various family members that's unusual. And as a parent, I can't wrap my mind around how you could respond any other way to your own child. And I think it's unfortunate that there are people out there like you who haven't had that experience, and I wish that I could change that for you.
Yeah, but another point too is that I think for anyone out there who is currently struggling with, family or friends who are not accepting, if they are worth your time and if they truly love you, they will come around and they will accept you.
Yes.
It's just we're all coming from different backgrounds, and at the end of the day, we're not playing with the same deck of cards as everyone else. So
yeah,
you just have to sort of hope that eventually they'll realize that you are their relative, you are their friend, and they can have their own beliefs, with their own lives. But at the end of the day, we all have our differences, and we just need to accept each other and live and let live. Sometimes.
Yes.
Because you can't control who's in your family. You can just control whether or not you have a relationship with them, basically. So.
Right.
That's the truth.
Yeah, that's not something we get a say in.
Yeah. I can respect someone else's beliefs. It's just, I'm not going to mess with their stuff, but they don't mess with me. So.
Right.
They're more concerned with me at school, I
really like that, that gracious point of view, Lilith, that even when you're not accepted, and I have seen this out of you before, and I have also seen this out of Large Print Layla, even when people don't accept you, you have a very gracious point of view about it. Like, maybe they don't have a nail to hang this piece of information on. Maybe they've never met anyone like me. Maybe they don't have all the facts. And that's something I appreciate about you both. Large Print Layla, would you like to say anything else about that?
Yeah, I think it's always the smart move to not jump to conclusions or to expect that they have had any interaction with an LGBT plus person, because they could have not had that opportunity yet. So it's really nice to actually be able to inform and sort of promote and craft how they percept a LGBT plus person. And I've seen just Plain Lilith do it on many occasions at work, and I have also been very impressed and proud of her for how she's handled a lot of situations at work that I probably would have come unglued on, because I sometimes don't take it well, but I've always sort of just pushed it down, and you have to accept people for who they are, just like you want them to accept you for how you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think you come to a point where you eventually are comfortable enough with yourself, you can take it a little better. And also, I think that a big problem that we in the community can maybe help with is that I think a lot of people think because they don't already have a certain vocabulary or set of knowledge, they cannot be a part of the conversation. So it's like they feel like they're like almost excluded from changing. And so I think we need to sort of just meet them where they are right now, and accept that it's not their fault that they were not educated about this stuff, or that they weren't exposed to it, and just kind of like we're saying, just accept them and just have a conversation with them. And don't try to change them. Just give them your point of view. Be nice about it. Maybe correct them if they say something rude, but do it nicely. Mm-hmm. And just accept that they are different from you, and that's fine. Just try to educate them as best you can based on your point of view.
Yes. When my oldest child first came out, they were using a lot of terminology that I was not familiar with, even though I thought that I was familiar with a lot of aspects of the LGBT community. There was a lot of new terminology that I didn't know. And they handed me a book from the library one day called The ABCs of LGBTQIA, I think is what the book is called. And they said, "Here, Mom, educate yourself." and I did. I read the whole book twice, and it's part of the YA collection in the Teen Center, and it was very, very helpful. It had a lot of really good information about some of the newer terminology that has come along just in the last probably 10 years.
Well, we hope we blind y'all with our humor and our lit attitudes.
And our helpful insights and advice. Thank you all for joining us today, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks for another episode of Lit Divas. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.